Hello, YouTube. Okay, so I was tagged by Rob Hall from Bluegrass Bushcraft. Rob tagged me in a coffee video. So I'm going to show Rob and anyone how I make coffee with the method that I like the best, especially when I'm camping, or really almost any time. Sometimes if I just want a cup around the house, is I like to use an Aeropress. I think it's one of the best ways to make a cup of coffee, bar none. And so what I have and what we're going to cook or boil the water on is an Optimus 80 stove. And I'll show you how to light that first. Let me go ahead and put a little bit of alcohol here on the top. Really, it's a little bit of alcohol everywhere because it just runs everywhere with that type of container, this container. And then I'm using the infinite match, which is fabulous. Go ahead and light that. We'll light it down here too because I spilled some of it. But that's how we light the Optimus 80. Give that a minute. Once it heats up, we'll go ahead and light the burner. So the Aeropress. There's a couple interesting things about the Aeropress. First off is I think you should watch real videos on YouTube about people making coffee with Aeropress. There's a world championship of coffee makers that have recipes to make really, really fabulous coffee. I've made coffee out of this Aeropress that I think is better than any coffee shop that I've purchased. And it works really, really well. So let's see if we can light this stove. Go ahead and put this little key in. Turn it on. There we go. Okay. Open the valve up a little bit. Great. Now we'll drop our pot of water right here. This is a really neat little stove, and it's so small and compact. It's really neat. So it takes about 2 minutes to, a few minutes to boil the water. So we're gonna let that boil, and I'll bring you back when the water is boiled. Okay, we're back. So the Optimus 80 is an absolutely fabulous stove. So the water's boiling, it's in here. I'm gonna just move this off for a second. But that flame is really powerful for such a tiny compact stove, and I know it's loud, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this down so we can talk. There we go. Okay. Now with Aeropress coffee, there's a couple of factors to keep in mind. First, the temperature of the water is a really, really important component of making coffee with an Aeropress. Boiling water at 212 degrees is too hot for coffee, so you typically do not want boiling water and exposing coffee to boiling water because it starts to give it a bitter taste. So with this is I boil the water. I usually let it sit for a little bit. You could certainly measure this, but I think ideally you want water somewhere between 185 to 204 degrees, depending on what size the grind is that you're using. The other tool that I like is this little, the model is a Porlex coffee grinder. And the reason that I bought this coffee grinder is a lot of the recipes for Aeropress, they tighten this all the way down and then you count the clicks back off of this. So there's a predefined amount of clicks off for different grind sizes for you to try. But I use, once you find the recipe you like, I just leave it that way. So I have this set at a medium grind. For today's discussion, though, I'm just going to use regular ground coffee because I'm actually not drinking the coffee. It's kind of hot out today. But here's how you do it, or how I do it. Again, I will encourage you to watch YouTube videos specifically on the Aeropress. There's a ton out there. Again, those world championships are pretty cool. But these are the sort of the component pieces. And I bought this little stand that I keep inside the kit that I travel with because I find when I'm in a hotel or at camp, it's nicer just to have everything organized. And the way this works is you take the little basket and you drop in a filter. These are inexpensive filters that you can buy. You just drop this right in. Some people wet these filters ahead of time. I haven't found if that really done a whole heck of a lot. So you just put the filter in like that. Then you sit this on top of your cup that you want to brew in. Now we're going to add a little bit of coffee. And again, I'm just using, you know, whatever, your favorite coffee. You can either use ground coffee or you can grind it yourself, whatever you want. I'm just going to put a scoop of this in just like that. All right, take this off. Now what we're going to do, we let that water sit a little bit. It's below boiling, so that's close enough. And there's some numbers on the side of this. Again, this is all your preference. How much water you want to put in here and how hot that water is and how thick or how coarse that grind is something that you can play with to get a better cup of coffee. So that's also a lot of fun with the Aeropress, is the ability to vary from cup to cup, to try them, to try different things. So we'll pour that up. And what we'll do is I'll just make sure all of the coffee is wet. Use this little paddle tool for that. Then I'm going to put the plunger in. As soon as I push down, I pull back up immediately. I pull back up because I want to hold that water and hold that coffee together. And this is a very important step. You want to have this together or steep somewhere between 2 and 4 minutes. Again, that's another one of those variances. And a lot of people, when they make Aeropress coffee, you'll see in the videos you watch, they'll use a scale. They'll use a scale to determine how much coffee to use. They'll also put this entire cup here on the scale, so when they pour the water in, they know exactly how much water is going into that recipe. Those are all just really interesting details that you can play with to figure out what works best for you. Again, I'm not the expert. This is just what I use. So we'll wait about 2 minutes, and I'll bring you back, and we'll go ahead and press this. Okay, we are at 2 minutes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press this through. We're just going to press the water and the coffee together. Now I'm not pressing hard. I'm sort of just using the weight of my arm to push this down. Now once I hit the bottom, I pull back just a little bit because that'll keep it from dripping. So it just sucks the water back in. And the really cool part, and let me get a paper plate and show you how this works. But to eject this, you simply just unscrew this piece and you pop it through. And you have your little hockey puck. You just rinse this off and you're ready for another cup. It's a super fast and easy cleanup. It's great. So now, I have the coffee. It depends, again, how much coffee and water you use. I find that this is sometimes concentrated, or you can actually make this very concentrated, that you can split this between 2 cups and then add a little bit of water additional to it to get it to exactly where you want it. Then I'll put, I use half and half in my coffee, but of course, whatever you like in it, you can add that at this time. And you have a great, delicious cup of coffee anywhere you go. Thank you. Bye.